Welcome to the podcast, Men Talk 2 podcast. I'm your host, Lee, and on the end of me, to my far left, is Rick. He's holding it down as far as the audio and the video is concerned. And in between us, we have a county commissioner candidate, Montrell Besley.
There it is.
I was finna say
There it
Beasley.
is.
I was finna say Beasley, but I said Besley.
He
I've been messing it up all the time. I was like, yeah, I had to look it up. Montrell Besley, he's running for county commissioner of District 11.
Yes.
And we're going to discuss that in detail as far as the commission and what they do as versus the city.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to just throw a bunch of questions at him and see how you do. First off, before we go to that, though, we always do why is this in the news? So here's a story. We got two. It's a good week for women. Actually, it's a good week for African-American women. So if you've been living under a rock or anything of that nature, you would know that Ketanji Jackson Brown was voted by the Senate to be confirmed as a Supreme Court Justice nominee. Now, since my last taping, which was last week, she has actually been confirmed, and the first African-American vice president approved it over Congress, made the announcement, and she had this long speech about how it took a long time for this to actually happen. So if you check out the video, you'll find out what I'm talking about. Her speech was very inspiring. Second off, we got here in our local city, Chattanooga, Tennessee, our first female African-American police chief, Celeste Murphy. She was sworn in Friday of this past week, which we actually taping on Saturday, which is today. So she was actually sworn in yesterday.
Right.
It was a first. So shouts out to both of them ladies, federally, nationally, and locally here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So that's why all that is in the news. That's why we're recognizing them today and forevermore, because one will be setting precedents for law and interpreting the law from here on out. And we got one who's actually going to be the head guy or the head girl in charge. Well, female woman in charge of enforcing the law. So it all ties in somehow, whatever way you want to put it that way. So that's why that's in the news today, and that's why we got that going on today. Now, let's get to Montrell Besley.
I'm waiting on you to mess it up.
I'm gonna mess it up eventually.
All right,
I'm not gonna even say it. I'm not gonna mess it up. We talking county commission, District 11.
Yes.
And just so y'all know, voting is on May the 3rd. Locally, you see signs up everywhere about candidates is going to be running. Early voting starts on the 13th, which is a week away from
next week.
Actually, where we are now, taping. So get ready for that. Be ready for that. I said this, and I'm going to keep saying this. In order for you to effect change in your community, always go out and vote for your local elections.
Yes,
you don't feel the whole national elections as far as it dripping down on you as far as change. You might feel it somewhat, but your local elections with your local politicians are the ones you need to vote for in order to affect change in your personal neighborhood. So with all that being said, Montrell Besley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good.
Let me get this one started off.
Okay.
His intro really goes to me because I tell everybody this, and I would say I'm not ashamed of it, but I am ashamed of it because I was one of those people that never voted in the local elections. And as I've gotten older, I understand now that the local stuff affects us more than the presidential stuff.
It does.
So, that's why we try to tell everybody to vote.
Yep.
And
got to stop being fooled, man.
First, because I want to ask you the first question.
Okay, run it.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. First off, I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Let them know exactly, what you're running for, which we already said.
Yeah.
What you want to know about you.
Good, gotcha. So, Montrell Besley, born and raised Chattanooga, born and raised Alton Park, been in this city, in my neighborhood all of my life, has never left. Just strong community advocate. Graduated from Austin Peay State University with my bachelor's and my master's degree, and one in public and community health and the other in health and human performance. So I always knew that I wanted to serve my community. Now, I thought I was getting into this, going into the health field because I wanted to be Chris Ramsey one day, and I wanted to be that CEO of Blue Cross and Blue Shield. But I quickly learned while I was at Austin P is that I couldn't work at a desk. I couldn't be nailed down and taped down to a desk. So I learned quickly that wasn't for me. So after I graduated and everything, I came back home. I came back home because I saw that, many people of my generation, they weren't coming back home. And, there was a need there. I had people all kinds of mentors and everybody telling me, Montreal, go somewhere else. Go see something new. Go see something different. You need to get out of here. But my heart told me that you need to come home. So I came home. I started working for the Boys and Girls Club. That was my first experience giving back. I worked part-time in the same Boys and Girls Club that I kind of grew up in, but it had moved to another part of the community. And then got a job with Howard. I was the PE teacher at Howard. And I left Howard because I had a kid and I needed some insurance.
Like all of us do.
So being a permanent substitute teacher, they wouldn't offer no insurance. So and how that transitioned is I didn't get the PE teacher's position because it was another certified teacher. That of course you certified, you deserve a job. You didn't did the coursework, whatnot, and I wasn't able to get that, but I was working towards that. So by the grace of God had already had something in store for me, and I started working for the city of Chattanooga. I worked for the Parks and Recreation, then it turned into Youth and Family Development. Now is I think Parks Community and something now. I don't know the correct terminology, but now it's something else. But I worked for them for about 10 years collectively. Then fast forwarded to 2016, I had the urge to run for school board. So I ran for school board in 2016, and I ran for school board then because I was older, and I actually got deeper in the trenches to see, how our teachers was actually treated, how our teachers was actually, shortchanged and had to come out of their own. Of course, I knew this, but I didn't have the opportunity to see it hands on like I saw it in 2016. So I ran in 2016 against George Ricks, Mr. George Ricks and Tiffany Robinson. I didn't win that race, but I learned so much. I attempted to do a race solely out of my own pockets. Yes, I did have some contributors or whatnot, but not the big contributors like what you see what everybody else get. And I did have help with my campaign, but not the experienced help that I have now. So fast forward to now, I said I was running for District 4. So that was before the redistricting and everything came along, and I said, yes, let's do it. I felt like we were just being poorly represented in District 4. We didn't have a shot at anything, and no money was coming into our community. So not knowing the plans for redistricting was going to happen, it was going to cut my community out completely. Not just Alton Park, but it cut East Lake out too. So we went back to the drawing board, and I had to ask myself the question, do I want to run for this new seat? Or do I want to chase a District 4? Because the Hamilton County Commission, you don't have to live in a district to run.
To run for it, that's correct.
So I could have, ran for it and bought a house or whatever in that new district.
Right.
So, man, just listening to God, just listening to my family, they said, nah, don't go chasing. Don't chase. We got an opportunity to, create something new, something fresh, something nobody has touched yet, and we can create a strong foundation and show how a district should be ran. So I said, let's do it. I got with VPS, Volunteer Progressive Services. They're my campaign managers and communication managers. And we just been running. We've been doing it. And I just felt the need that if I didn't run, there would be an opportunity that we would be at the bottom of the totem pole once again. Funding would go over our head. Resources would go over our head. We'll get ignored like we've been getting ignored for the past 16 years. And I just couldn't stand for it. I couldn't let that happen again. So, man, I have been doing the work since I said I was going to do it.
Right.
I've knocked on over 6,000 doors. 6,000 doors.
Hey, man.
I'll say this.
since last year.
The way you came in here today, I can tell you been out working.
you
Man,
been out.
I was
You
out,
been
man,
out.
man, it's been a full day for me today, man.
Grinding
So,
that pavement out there.
man, I got some good shoes this time too, man.
Right.
So it's easy on my knees and my feet. But man, just grinding it out, man, and just showing the people I want to be the one to represent them. If the people that are trying, I'm gonna look at the camera on there. If the people that are trying to get you to vote for them, if they are not at your door, if they're not ringing your phone line, if they're not trying to reach out to you, they are not here to serve you. They're here to suck up all the resources, put all the money they can in their pockets, and get all of the partnerships and side money they can possibly get to benefit themselves and their family. That's not what you're getting to me. I tell people all the time, I'm not in this to be this lifetime retired from, county commission or whatever. I got 8 good years. I got 8 good years as county commission to move our District 11 forward and groom the next person to take my position, because that's one thing that I've seen so long, that people hold these positions forever and they're not grooming anybody. And then once they leave, they say, forget it. I ain't helping nobody. They got to get it like I got it.
Right.
That's not right, man. That's just not right. But I'll let y'all get to this interview, because if y'all don't stop me, I keep going.
Hey,
we're going to interject every once in a while.
You gave us a lot of good things there. And just before I even get to my first question, how you said you got eight good years. Why do you say only 8 good years instead of trying to, like you said, be there forever?
Because there comes a point in the time where you become out of touch.
That's what I wanted to hear right there.
Yeah,
I ain't even gonna lie. That's what I wanted to hear.
And it's okay, and we don't have. Thank God that I got friends around me that will tell me, "Hey, Montrell, it's time to let it go. It's time to move on to something else. It's time to let somebody else have this seat. It's time to groom somebody. Your time is up." So that's just how I feel about it, man. You at some point in time, times change. Communities change, people change, and viewpoints and culture changes over time, man.
This is true.
And it's okay to say that I don't know everything anymore. I don't have the touch I used to have.
Right.
So that's just my whole thought process in that. And I hope people respect that and don't take it as that I'm gonna do it and quit. But because that's not it, because I'm gonna continue my work even after, county commission. Just like I said before, back in 2016 when I was unsuccessful in winning that seat, I was like, I lost, but I'm not gonna stop working. And I didn't stop working. So
for people like myself, like I said, I'm just now getting into the local election stuff. What does a county commissioner do?
So county commission oversees the budgets for, all the municipalities in the Hamilton County area. So they handle, of course, the legislature and policies and things like that within the city and the county. But mostly the county, because the city has their own, codes and things of that nature as well. But it oversees, I think it's probably about 11 to 16 different municipalities in the county.
That's true.
And what I mean by municipalities is the smaller, cities that like East Ridge, Signal Mountain, Lookout Mountain, the Collegedale,
Birchwood,
Collegedale, those smaller, the overseer for everything that happens and comes through the county. And they approve a lot of the taxes and tips and everything, and the pilot programs that that comes through the county as well. Okay, that was my main thing, Lee.
Oh, really?
I just like the main one off the jump, because, like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of people myself that doesn't know what that position does.
They tell the school board what they're gonna get for the year. They tell the city what they're gonna get for the year. So it's kind of the overseer for everything.
Can we get some people in there that really dedicate the money to the school resources?
Bam, that's my number one priority: education.
And one thing that you touched on too, and it was funny. I was telling somebody we were talking to you today, and they were like, "Man, I think you did some stuff for Brainerd Rec."
Yeah, I worked for Brainerd Rec for a long time.
They was like, "Man, it seemed like he kept that place open by himself." Like that's what they said to me about you.
I had some good people working with me at Brainerd, man.
So but they said, I guess, more of the way you went hard for it.
Oh, heck yeah, because I'm not from Brainerd, but I went to Brainerd High School.
There you go, alumni.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
That's right. Alumni. Let's go.
And I still, my heart, it's definitely Alton Park. Will forever be Alton Park. But I love Brainerd as well because that's the high school I went to. You know, and I had a lot of friends that live in the Brainerd neighborhood and went to Brainerd with me, and I had to serve that community just like I would serve a community of my own. So I did it hard.
I tell everybody, man, our rec leagues need more funding because I grew up back in the day, which I'm about to be 40, so I don't know how old you are.
I'm 40. Yeah,
okay.
I'll be 41 next week.
So I play
little young pups over here.
I played a bunch of like rec league stuff, and it was called the PAL League, Police Athletics.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that PAL, East Lake PAL.
Yeah, bro, and it's like they don't get the funding they need anymore, man. Like, so now everybody wondering why do our kids run the streets, and it's like, we don't fund the things to keep them out of it because
we don't.
My mama it was free back then,
what?
and my mama wouldn't been able to afford it.
You know what, Rick? I can't even say it's funding. We don't have the people in place that will push for funding. We don't have the people in the place that's going to hold the current people that are working these jobs accountable to push for programming and push for things. And if we can raise all this money for campaigns. Why can't we raise monies for programming for our communities? You know what I mean? So, yes, funding plays a role in that, but I still think we don't have all the right people in place to move our communities forward, especially in that department. And I don't mind going on a limb and say that if anybody objects, we can always have a conversation, and I can tell you my viewpoints and why I feel that way. And because of what I seen, we still have our well-seasoned people that it's time to move on, and it's okay to move on to something greater, and groom that next person. But until it's like I told the mayor when we had a conversation before he became mayor. Until we get the right people in place in these positions, we'll forever be stuck in the same era that we rut. Thank you. The same rut we're in right now.
Yep.
But I pray that Mayor Kelly is pushing that needle forward. Is going to put people in place to take these positions. But yeah, so we need the right people in the right positions to do these jobs.
So let me go back. Let's go back to the beginning because we was talking off camera about how District 11, actually 10 and 11,
Mercy
came to be.
Yeah.
All right. So we was talking about the census that was being taken every 10 years.
Do the census, people.
Through the census.
If they know where to send your citizens to, you think they don't know where you live at for real?
Hey, if you don't do the census, they send you some stuff in the mail. I forgot what it was because I was wondering, man, I ain't doing this, and then I started getting the threatening thing. In the
I don't want the government knowing where I stayed and who I am.
And it's just
they already know.
So what y'all don't know.
But see, that's why I didn't feel that because I'm like, man, y'all already know everything.
But see, here's the thing. What y'all don't know is everybody that does the census, that's money.
Yes.
Free money.
Yes.
Well, we can't say free money, but it's free money.
It's money that we're entitled to.
Exactly. That we get to use to our community.
Right.
So all y'all that's out there paranoid about the government knowing where you are and where you stay, and they already know that. That's irrelevant.
Big brother know everything.
That's irrelevant. If you want money coming to your neighborhood, to your community, you need to step up.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't got no people in your community, that's less money for them to take.
Right.
And use in your community. They can allocate that money somewhere else. Is what y'all don't want to happen.
Right.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So District 11, let's go back to how that came about.
Yes.
We did the census in 2020. We do it every 10 years, so just so y'all know. And it just came out, actually I did one in 2020. And so now we getting the I'm going to say either the good or the bad from this census. Now, talking to him earlier, off camera, and we can finna put it on camera because we ain't got nothing to hide.
No, we ain't got nothing to hide. I'm very transparent.
Right. Take us through how it came about as far as District 10 and 11. It was 9 at the first time. It was 9 commissioners.
Yep. And
we added two districts, and we redistricted to include all 11 seats now. So take us how that came about and how does that benefit or hurt these new districts and the old districts?
Right. So So the way the districts were shaped was according to, you know, being, I guess, communities being a certain population and the population shifting from, you know, more on this side, more on that side, more here, more there. So they said, okay, we are overwhelmed with, you know, constituents in each of our districts.
I think it's like 40,000 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. And, you know, some districts had 50 and 60. Some districts didn't have as many.
Right.
So they said, okay, let's do a redrawing of the maps.
Which we would think is fair.
Which we would think is fair.
Whoever's in charge of drawing it out.
Right.
Be fair. But go ahead.
Well, that blamed them in past so much, man. You don't know what to believe right now. So they redrew the district maps and said, well, we're going to have to, you know, make these districts more diverse, per se. So
now let me interject real quick because we had a certain influx of Latinas come into the Highland Park area and East Lake area and all this stuff. That's what's causing all this. I ain't gonna say trouble, but it's good in a way and it's bad in a way. It's good because we get more money.
Right.
If you take the census.
If you do the census, you
got to take the census. Okay? Number one. If you don't get no money, period. Now, bad is you can redistrict it and some people get out of voting. As far as the seats.
That a big factor in it.
That's huge. Because if I cut my district out, and I'm sitting on the seat, and I cut my district out, and I want this amount of people in there, and I know they go in and vote, I'm going to keep my seat.
Right.
Be it Republican or Democrat.
Right.
That's how it happens.
Right,
so
that's how it happens. You're right.
I'm going to let him finish it, and then we'll go on from there.
Yeah, so what ended up happening, you know, so my community in East Lake ended up getting cut out of District 4 because of voting, because of population size, because of who was living in that area. And in my personal opinion,
and we'll put the disclaimer up there.
My personal opinion. Nobody else.
Nowhere.
Yeah, right. My personal opinion. When you had when certain districts had a strong candidate that was going to run in that race, it was said, let me protect my seat. So my two poorest communities in Hamilton County were cut out of District 4 and put into the healthiest and richest district now, in Hamilton County.
Notice what he said is in his district. I'm gonna let him run it again as far as the neighborhoods that are in his district I'm gonna run right now.
Yeah. So Alton Park and East Lake got put into the healthiest and richest district in our in Hamilton County, which consists of I go down the list as from healthy to least healthiest. It consists of Lookout Mountain, Lookout Valley, St. Elmo, Downtown, Missionary Ridge, East Lake, and Alton Park.
Will you look at that?
Lookout Mountain, Alton Park. The most healthiest and least healthiest in the same district. So my job is to level that playing field.
So everybody get the same amount
of resources. Because my goal is for Alton Park and East Lake and the whole District 11, I want all of us to thrive together.
Which we should be doing across the whole county, period.
Right, exactly. Because when I was growing up, East Lake and Alton Park thrived very well. I'm talking about from small businesses to whatever. I go on a limb and say that dollar did not leave Alton Park or East Lake at least 4 times. It rotated 4 times in those communities.
Which is what you need.
Yeah. Right. And still, St. Elmo and all these other districts, they still was thriving.
Correct.
You know, so at that time we were separate, but now we're together. And, you know, Alton Park and East Lake are at the bottom of the totem pole right now. So it's my job to level that playing field and bring Alton Park and East Lake up to par with the help of, you know, Lookout Mountain, Lookout Valley, and all of our other communities to get us, to help us get the resources we need and, you know, help clean our neighborhoods and our communities up. Because if you look at 23rd Street, East Lake, 23rd Street is the biggest street and the busiest street that runs through East Lake, then Dodge next, business-wise. And then you have a great school that sits right on 23rd Street, and those kids have to come out every day to see prostitution, homelessness, crime, whatever you want to call drugs,
all that stuff,
right in front of their school. So we have to put a stop to that. I have a lady on Marbury Street that I talk to. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name right now. But she's done everything she could possibly do to fight all of the prostitution that happens right in front of her house.
Jeez.
So let me ask you this: why do you think? Because when they built that school downtown, I can't remember
which one, Brown or Battle.
Battle, the newer one.
Yeah, I think Battle is the newest one.
Okay, when they built Battle, so right in that area, it used to like the building right across was in crumbles, and now they tore it down and rebuilt stuff. So they did what was necessary to get rid of like the homelessness, the prostitution, even all across downtown, because that was one of our
it was happening.
Factor.
Yeah,
and so why do you think they did what it took to get rid of it there, but they're not worrying about it across from another school?
Well, that happened because all of the money that had started coming into downtown. It initially started with the aquarium being built. Yes, we already had the lookouts playing where Kirkman used to be at, but when the aquarium was built, more people started coming. When we started getting all of the softball tournaments and things of that nature coming into our city, it started creating more revenue. And then, people don't want to come to a dirty city.
There you go.
So why not? Now we have to clean this up.
Yep.
And so then you got an influx of our counterparts moving back to the downtown area because at one point in time, they stayed out at 58, they stayed out in East Brainerd, they stayed in the Red Banks and all these other cities or sub-cities, I should say. And so they decided it was time to move back downtown. So property values had already been driven down to the least value as they could possibly get it. And now it's time to buy it back up and start building. I mean, look at
gentrification.
Yep, there you go, gentrification. I mean, look at what MLK is now.
Yep.
I can remember growing up, MLK didn't look nothing like that.
Nope.
Man, you had the half note, you had the whole note. You had Mimos.
Yep.
You had Renewal Barbershop.
Yep.
You always had the Bessie Smith Museum.
Yep.
And you had a few more businesses in Lamar's.
Lamar's down the road a bit.
Down the road, and then you had the Kappa House.
Yep.
So it always have thrived very well, but then gentrification came and cleaned everybody out. And and it's folks gonna probably get mad at me when I say it's not all white people fault, because we're the ones that sold our parents and our grandparents' businesses and buildings.
There you go.
And we could have found them. The county and city could have did some type of grants or some type of funding or resources to put back into 9th Street.
Yep.
Just like they did right now, /MLK. Just like they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
It's always going to be 9th Street.
It's always going to be 9th Street.
Yeah. You're right.
But we have to do better as family members and as grandchildren. As we have to stop selling our family houses. We have to figure out a way whether it's pooling our money together and, sprucing up our own homes. We don't have to rely on, government funding all the time, And, if we want to rent it out, let's rent it out ourselves.
Right.
Let's stop selling it, for pennies and then let somebody from New York or California come in and buy it for next to nothing and then make $500,000 off of it.
Right. Flip it and go.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let y'all keep going, man.
Go ahead.
But
right there, man.
Like I agree. I agree with you on that, because I tell everybody, like, gentrification in itself isn't bad because it fixes up some of the bad. I don't mean bad as far as like crime and all. I mean like the way it looks. Yeah. The run down neighborhoods. The part that just sucks about it is once it gets fixed up, is it prices the lower income people out. That's the only bad part about it. But if we could get together and go clean up auntie and uncle them houses and yards and all that, like come together as a community and let's do some of the same stuff.
We have to, and we can. I've seen it done. Shoot. St. Elmo did it by themselves.
Right.
Yes, it was some gentrification that happened in St. Elmo, but for the most part, St. Elmo, they cleaned up their own neighborhood.
Got their own stuff hooked up.
They have a event tomorrow called Sparkle St. Elmo. They cleaning up their own darn street. They not calling the city.
That's what's up.
They not calling anybody to come, do something for them. They getting their butts out there and they cleaning up themselves. And we could do the same stuff for our community, but we can't keep wearing the same person out to do these and head these
Right.
these events and programs up. We have to start. Other people have to start coming in and helping out.
You got to be interested.
Thank you. You have to be interested. You do.
I tell people all the time because when I get bored, I do Lyft and Uber and stuff like that. Make some extra money and kill time. And some of the people I get places they stay and they talk about the city, be like, oh, it's beautiful here, and give me a little bit of history, and I tell them, 10 years ago, you wouldn't be staying where you wouldn't be staying where you staying at now. Like, I knew Highland Park was different when I'm driving down the street and all of a sudden I'm seeing, I hate to say it like this, but white women with their dogs, running behind them and stuff. And
pushing baby strollers.
And I'm like,
yeah,
boy, they crazy. And then the more I started paying attention over these past 10, 11 years, it was like, I ain't another white person, another one. In Highland Park, or or downtown, and like, okay,
Coward Street.
Yeah. Oh my God. They used to be. Never mind. I ain't gonna talk about that.
Buddy.
Cow Street used to be horrible back in the day, but now.
I know.
Jeez, you never know the difference.
Yeah.
Let's talk money.
Yes, sir.
Since y'all are pretty much the keepers of it, the purse, as we say. Taxes.
Yep.
Good place, bad place, need to increase, decrease? What do you think?
I think we are in a good place as far as our taxes. I don't think we're using our tax money wisely.
Okay.
I think we can cut some fat in some areas, and we can invest more in some areas. Like our schools should be the number one thing that we've invested in. The infrastructure is failing so bad.
So let me interject. Let me interject real quick
because
you're saying the infrastructure is jacked up, basically.
Yeah.
So we got these schools / academies that take the best of the best, correct? As far as teachers are concerned.
It's probably
to some
equal,
degree.
Yeah, to some degree. It's probably equal across the board, though.
Why do we need academies versus a regular school that is failing?
Yeah.
And we got teachers that are, as you say, pretty much on the same level.
Yeah,
Why do we need academies versus just regular schools with people that actually care about the kids and actually teach the kids? Or we got to wait in line and spend nights on lawns to register for CSAS and CSLA and the school downtown. What's another school downtown was supposed to be? I think it was up here on I forgot. East Brainerd. My bad, East Brainerd. Why do we have to have parents spending nights on lawns to get their kids registered?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on both of them for you.
In order to go to this particular school, that's what they want.
Yeah.
Versus going to a public school.
Yeah.
A truly public school like a Brainerd or a Howard.
Yeah.
Or that type of deal. Explain that to me.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty much the Magnets and the academies, they're all the public schools. They all get equal funding. The difference is it's a specialty school, just like Kirkman and Howard were specialty schools. They was technical schools, and they taught a lot of skills and trades. So these things are similar and needed in the community because if you look at it, our workforce is dwindling. These people that need to take these jobs are just not there anymore. Okay. Locally, anyways. So we need people to fill these jobs. Okay. Whether it's an airline pilot or a plumber or a contractor, whatever it may be, those specialty schools are needed. Now, when you get into those magnet schools, that's the closest school you can get to a private school. So yeah, I'm a fight for that individualized education because the classroom sizes are way smaller, and the tracks and the focuses are different. I always tell parents, you do the best for your child. Oh yeah. You do the best for your child. You choose the best education for your child. Am I pro? I'm not pro private schools. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not pro private. I'm pro public school because I think and I believe that you can get the same kind of education that you would get at a public school from a private school. Correct. Now they do have things at private schools that they don't have to go through. Like they don't have to do all the standardized tests, and I think it's dumb. Which is because a student is not their test score. Right. And they should not, and funding should not be judged about how you did on a test score. That should not be like that.
I always had test anxiety.
Oh, I do too. And I'm a terrible test. I'm a terrible test taker.
I made all A's, but you put a test in front of me, and it's just like, What I do.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So those magnets and those academies are just there to place an emphasis on what's needed in our current trends today.
Okay, makes sense.
That's my view. That's my viewpoint.
That makes sense. You also hold a purse bag when it comes to jobs coming into the county.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what will you do to increase the flow of jobs coming into our county?
Right.
I ain't even talking about the county.
Well, you got to make it attractive for people to come into our county, just like we just had the paint plant to come in.
Right.
Me personally, I didn't like the area that they were putting it in because I seen the same thing in Alton Park when we had all the environmental problems that came from Veslico and all those, the glass company and all those other places, and we experienced a lot of health disparities in Alton Park from these places. But I want to be able to have the jobs that we bring in. We have to be ready to take those jobs.
Correct.
And we haven't created the skill sets to put people in these jobs. I think Volkswagen started it initially when they first came. They was training people to take some of those jobs, but not all of those people were hired. We have to start holding these companies that want to come to Chattanooga feet to the fire when it comes to hiring local people. We have to be able to prepare our local people for those upper level jobs. We can't keep taking pennies and thinking that's affordable, that we can live off of that. No, we want that top job.
Right.
Don't bring all these people into our city and our county that's going to take the top jobs, and you go give us the lower line jobs.
Yeah, obviously the little or nothing.
The little or nothing jobs, and we still going to be able to barely survive because we're going to have to travel way across town just to go to the job.
That is correct.
So now you're pulling me off a bus line. So now I'm gonna have an issue getting to work.
And see, that was one of the issues with Volkswagen for a long time until they started that bus route out there.
Yeah, right.
But I'm a big proponent of vocational schools.
Yeah.
I went to City High School. I went to Howard, and then I left and I went to Sequoia Vocational out inside of Daisy.
Right.
And that opened my eyes because I was smart, like I said, but I never tested well. So I wanted to go to college. Then I started had kids young.
Yeah.
So college was kind of out the picture for me.
Yeah.
And I think we need more vocational schools like that starts training kids in high school. I agree.
And I'm glad that the county invested in the new vocational school, Marianne Garber, on the old Marianne Garber site. And Gerald Harris, I think he's going to do a great job at that school heading it up.
You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that, bro.
You looking like, what?
You just really made my day with that one because I've been wondering what they going to do with that.
Yeah, so it's going to be a vocational school. So it's going to be I just hope they put the right people in it. Now,
I hate it's gonna be that close to that paint facility though.
Yeah, man. So I'm just a little biased about that paint facility because, like I said, I seen the effects that it had on my community. I seen how the Chattanooga River, the Chattanooga Creek was polluted by these companies.
Yep, I remember.
And
they
say,
I lived in Willow Homes, bro.
So they say that we're going to have this environmental standard. And then they end up, don't look what happened with Volkswagen. What they said, that diesel was a clean fuel burning car, and it turned out to be bad for the environment. Look what happened with that. And I just, because East Chattanooga, that area where they're building that plant, it's a big underground water system flowing under that community. And I think about all of that waste and that paint
possibly seeping
into that underground water and all the damage that it do. I'm a big environmental person. I love my environment because if we don't have our environment, we won't be able to survive.
That's correct.
So I'm big on the environment, and I just foresee the damage that happened to Alton Park. I don't want that to happen for the East Side.
Right.
All those signs where it was like, don't go in the water, don't eat fish from
the
the water.
Don't fish from the thing,
I just hope the Almighty have mercy on me, man, because we still played in that water in Alton Park. So I hope I don't see, any effects when I get on up in age, from that.
You won't. You be good. Trust me, you be good.
So I'm immune now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 20 plus years in, you should be good now.
That was my COVID shot, I guess. that's what's keeping COVID away from me. All these chemicals running through my body.
Bruh, you already know how it is. Let's after interview questions, any good interview question.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I asked Brian Bush last week
Uh-huh.
when we talked to him. Biggest challenges,
Uh-huh.
fears versus, I guess, your biggest challenge as far as getting into office.
My biggest challenge is probably my general election. I'm dealing with a guy that he was a past commissioner of 8 years, and he was voted out.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'll be going up against some experience, but like I said previously, at some point in time you become out of touch.
Yep.
So, but I have a lot of seasoned people in my district, and our seasoned people are not really used to change. They want somebody to come in that already has experience.
Mm-hmm.
I have experience on the community side of things, but I don't have any experience on sitting on a commission.
Right.
So I would have to encourage all to don't be afraid of change. Invest in, allow yourself to, bring in a new commissioner for a new district.
Mm-hmm.
And not settle for settle for someone that has already been there and voted out. Obviously, they didn't do a good job because they was voted out.
Right.
So my biggest challenge is getting people out to vote and help them understand the importance of our
Voting.
local voting and our local voting.
Yeah.
My biggest fear.
Let me
go ahead.
ask
Okay.
one question.
Okay,
one
you good, you
follow-up
good, yeah.
question for you before you start with that.
Mhm.
So, do you think by your by the people that you've been talking to, your seasoned people as you
Yeah.
call them, do you feel like you're being received well?
Yes, I do. I actually feel like I am being received well because a lot of them do want that change.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them don't want a repeat from when my opponent was in there back in 2008 or 2009. So like I said, he was voted out for a reason. Actually he was beat out by a friend of mine, David Sharp. So yeah, and I think just flowing right into I think my biggest fear is probably I don't know. It's a good question. That's a good question. I don't really have any fear per se. I guess my biggest fear is not, winning.
Okay. Or let me tack on to that. Maybe it could be the person that takes the office doesn't have your drive, your passion,
Yeah. There you go.
your
Yeah.
energy to
Right.
do what you say you want
Right.
to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. Exactly.
I just figured that'd probably be it, the
Yeah.
best thing, because
Yeah.
everybody got a way of actually trying to fix a problem. We talked about this multiple times
Right.
on the podcast, how
Right.
you gonna fix a problem. And the way you get there
Mm-hmm.
might not be the same way that this guy gets there.
Right.
And you
Right.
might neglect some people along the way there.
Right.
Which we don't want to happen
Nah, I
with.
definitely don't want that to happen.
Exactly. Because you might be catering to these folks
Right.
and forget about these folks.
Right.
Even
Right.
though we all in the same bucket.
Right.
That
Exactly
might
right.
be the problem.
Exactly right. I fear of having somebody in office that's out of touch
Correct.
with what's going on with our current trends and being out of touch and supporting the wrong things that is not healthy for all communities.
Right.
Because yes, I'll be advocating for District 11, but I'll be advocating for Hamilton County as a whole because I want to see all of us thrive in Hamilton County. I want people all over Tennessee to look at Hamilton County and try to figure out, man, how can we replicate what they're doing there?
Exactly.
I want them coming over and doing tours and just meeting with all of the the leaders that be and trying to figure out how we can get our communities and our county to thrive like y'all are thriving.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Now
Or
that
like
y'all
Hamilton
know.
County is thriving.
Yeah. Next follow-up question with this.
Yeah.
With same thing with Brian Bush last week. I asked him about his greatest strength and his weakness
Yeah.
as far as going into this particular
Yeah.
office. And he gave us this whole nice little spiel.
Uh-huh.
So do the same.
Yeah, definitely. So my greatest strength is my connection, my being able to plug people here and there and building that bridge from the richest of the richest to the poorest of the poorest, from rich to poor to healthy and unhealthy to healthy and healthy. So my biggest strength is connecting dots.
Okay.
Hands down, I know I do a very good job at being able to adapt to all situations and bridging and connecting the people that I've come in contact with.
Sweet.
I think my biggest weakness is I hate being on the phone.
What?
Man.
You're a politician. Come on now.
Man, I'm that person. I want to meet you face to face because there you can't. I can tell if you BSing me,
Right.
or you're lying to me.
You
or
can
whatever.
tell on the phone too. Because
But it ain't the same.
It ain't the same.
It ain't the
Right.
same.
You're right.
So I guess I shouldn't have said that's my biggest weakness because when it comes to campaigning, that's my biggest weakness. Is
Right.
I don't like being on the phone. But
Right.
like Mike Tyson said, do what you hate like you love it.
Ooh.
I like that
I
hot
like
boxing,
that.
man.
Yeah.
If you ever watch hot boxing, man, Mike Tyson is, man, so freaking smart, man. And he said, "Do what you hate like you love it." That's what makes it. That's what builds a champion.
True.
But to touch on that weakness question again, I think my weakness is I could be a better listener.
Wow.
I could be a better listener. I can improve on listening. I wouldn't say that's a weakness, but I can improve on listening.
In what way? Because I'm trying to figure out how a politician that knocks on doors is beating
Yeah.
concrete down
Yeah.
this morning.
Uh-huh.
How is it that you are not that well of a listener?
Because I can sometimes I'll react
Mm-hmm.
instead of proact.
Gotcha.
When I say proact, I mean I sit back and wait to see what the problem is instead of trying to solve the problem without knowing what the problem is.
Gotcha.
Guessing what your problem could be.
Right.
You know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a whole lot
I
of
could
sense.
be a better listener. I can admit that. I can be a better listener.
Okay. Now y'all know. Be a better listener.
I'm working on it though.
There you
I'm
go.
working on it.
That's what it takes. That's what the change is about.
I'm working on it.
We're gonna wrap this up because
Hold on, I got a couple more.
Oh, you got a couple more?
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's do it,
Go ahead,
man.
let's do it.
This my favorite thing to do, man. These podcasts and stuff like this. I mean, this is what I love to do.
And-
All right, let's run it.
And I ain't even gonna lie. This is probably the most involved I've been with like a guest.
Really?
You know,
Well, that is true. That is true. I give
it
that.
is. It's the most involved I've been with the guest, and that's because I always try to find something wrong. Like, you know, everything you see. My mindset is politicians like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, they not being truthful. They only gonna show you what they want to see. So I always try to find something wrong. And honestly, bro, like when I looked you up and trying to find all the information, 'cause, you know, I met you from when
Yeah,
y'all came over,
right.
did
Yeah.
a few of your ads and stuff, and everything I find on you is involved in the community. You know, taking care of kids. Like I seen somebody post something. I think y'all did something this past week where y'all was at the school.
Yep.
And showing, looked like y'all were showing
Lighthouse
kids
Collective,
how
yeah.
to tie. Teach kids how to tie ties.
Man, I'm around it with some amazing men.
And that's one of them things, bro. I didn't learn how to tie a tie till because I didn't have my dad in my life. I was 18 years old, and my kid's mom, she taught me how to tie a tie because she went to Howard and they had to tie ties back then. So I had to learn how to tie a tie from my girlfriend. So
Wow.
that right there,
But you know, man, our women are some of the strongest people, man. Amazing, just how they just protect us as men. They will go to war. They will burn something up over us.
So
And I'm just gonna say this, man. We got to do a better job at protecting them. We got to do a better job protecting them. But Rick, man, I appreciate that though. Man, it's just been my life, man. All I want to do is serve my community, man.
Right.
I don't care about all the darn awards and all that crap. I want to make sure people are okay.
Right.
I want to make sure people know how to manage their money. I want to make sure people know how to tie a tie. I want to make sure people know how to conduct a job interview and go on job interviews
And kill it.
I want to make sure people have all the resources they can possibly need to live a great life. That breaks my heart when I ride down 11th Street and see all those homeless people.
Bruh.
And then for people to say they homeless because they want to be homeless, in some cases, maybe.
I get it.
it is
I get
true
it.
in some cases.
In
'Cause
some
I know
cases,
a couple
man,
of them.
that's true. But in a lot of, I'm going to let me say 90% of those cases, it has something to do with either a mental illness or a bad decision that they made throughout life that they're paying for right now.
Correct.
And they're having a hard time getting out of that because nobody will help them. nobody even talk to them because we think they're dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those are some of the smartest people you can ever talk to. And man, it just breaks my heart to see, any of the young men that I work with or come in contact to, doing bad or struggling. Because our young people have so many opportunities now than all that we had all put together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, I just want to help, man. That's all I want to do. I want to serve, bro. That's it. That's all I care about is serving.
What gave you that passion and that drive? Because, like you said at the very beginning, you could have left.
Yeah.
You could have moved away.
I had opportunities to.
Everybody always tells us like, bro, you got to get out of here. There ain't nothing here.
Yeah.
Like you got to go.
Yeah.
So what made you be like, no, I'm coming home. I gotta, I gotta make it better for my people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it probably was already ingrained in me from my grandparents and my uncles.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just something that's just in me, because my family is from a small city called Jackson, Georgia. It's right in between Atlanta and Macon. It's dead smack in the middle, the reddest of red dirt, and my people in that community, they served. My granddad served. My granddad was a sharecropper. His dad was a sharecropper and slave. So that's all we've ever known is helping people and serving people.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been about money for us. It's always been about taking care of somebody else if you have it. And then what helped push that along is having people like Coach Tolliver and Charles Morgan and Mr. Hines and Poochie Collins and a number of those guys and Van Gardner. Those guys being in my life helped push me along. Yes, I had my brothers. They did a great job with me. Yes, I knew who my father was, but my father, I didn't understand at first. But as I grew older, I understand that my father felt like he raised my brothers, my two brothers and my sister, and now it was their turn to raise me, because that is how he was taught in his community. The oldest raised, the other siblings, and it took me a long time to understand it and accept. That's probably what his mindset was. Man, I was angry at my daddy for a long time, man. I don't think I really forgave my daddy until probably about 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I was angry for a long time
Good
at
Lord.
my daddy. Yeah, I still spoke to him. I still treated him with respect, but I still was angry.
Right.
I was angry, like for real angry.
Yeah.
But I didn't know and understand, and I started growing and understanding and trying to understand and taking a moment and stepping back and seeing, what the issue was, what the problem was, and came to sense that, this is how he was raised.
Right.
This is how he was raised. So, but yeah, man, that's my passion, man. Like I said, I'm just gonna serve. That's my purpose, and I do it every day like I love it.
Sweet.
And I do love it, actually.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's it for me, man. Like,
I'm a genuine dude, man. What you see is what you get.
Like I said, man, it's not often that when you look somebody up, everything's about, community service or, done this, with the community or done that. You'll find a few bits and pieces here and there. But almost everything I found on you was, with the kids, done this, done that.
Yeah, all for the community.
Like I think I read something where you were involved in the Chattanooga Prep School.
Yes, that's my bread and butter job right there. And I'm a small business owner as well. But Chattanooga Prep is my bread and butter, man. I love what I do there. I'm the director of community engagement because that's me. I'm community, and they allow me to do so much with that school, and I get to have all the fun. I like to say. And connect all the dots for my boys, and getting them into internships early. Something I didn't have when I was in high school.
Nobody had
getting them those volunteer hours to potentially get scholarships just for volunteering.
Right.
Just connecting them to everything that I wanted growing up. So that's just another way that I serve, and it's by the grace of God I get paid for doing that. And then, of course, I have my small business. I have a rolling video game trailer, which still works with kids. So
even though Xbox and PlayStation are at the house and VR goggles and VR goggles.
And then, it's crazy. So, I just do a number of different things, man, to, be able to provide for my family, to show my kids that you can do this too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you know, with running for this District 11 seat, because our kids are so caught up in, I'm going to be the next basketball player, football player, whatever. But I talk to them, I say, how about being a decision maker for your city?
There you go.
Or your county?
There you go. Be a leader.
Be a leader. So, man, them kids drive me, dude. They drive me. They are the reason I do a lot of the things that I do. Have I been perfect? No, I haven't been perfect.
Hey,
Nobody
we all mess
Nobody
up.
have.
Man, have I made mistakes? I've made a ton of mistakes.
Yeah.
Some of them I didn't get caught for making.
Oh my God.
Thank God.
I'm right there with
you
you.
know,
I'm right there with you.
I've made mistakes, and I try to teach, you know, my boys at my school and my personal kids at home that the steps to keep from making those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're going to make mistakes in life, but I don't want you to make that mistake that's going to be detrimental to your life. That's going to affect you 10, 20, 25 years from now.
That is correct.
So, man, I'm just a resource. I'm just a vessel, man.
So you have kids at home, right?
Mm-hmm. One of my kids go to school with me, and I know it. I know he hated too. I wouldn't want to go to school with me.
Do they feel any type, like, how is it on them with you doing so much for the community? Because I'm sure that take up a lot of your time.
Man, my wife is a strong individual. She's just strong. She's supportive. She hate that I'm running for office, but she's supportive. She supports that I run for office.
Hey, it's certain things you got to move a little different when you're running for office.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And my family understands and gets it, because when I'm not, you know, on the campaign trail, or I'm not working doing things for the school, I'm with them. My Sundays are dedicated to them, and they understand that some Sundays right now I'm gonna have to be doing other things with my campaign, but as soon as I'm done, they have all of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm big on family, because I come from a huge family, both on my mom and my dad's side.
Sweet. You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
One last question for you.
Go ahead.
So he not good.
No, I am good. I am good. I'm
Rick trying to
being you
dig
right
and
now.
find something, man.
I'm being you right now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So on the going out note, what is it that you want people to know about you that you ain't touched on and we ain't touched on yet?
Oh man, I'm gonna be transparent with you. I'm gonna listen.
Listen. There you go.
2 times when I talk. I'm going to take your advice and allow you to counsel me into decisions that could affect all of our lives in our county.
Mm-hmm.
What you see with me is what you're going to get. I'm genuine. I'm not, going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to sell you a dream. I'm going to shoot it to you straight from the hips, and I'm going to be real with you. But I'm going to lean on you just like you lean on me. And I'm counting on the people that I plan on serving to hold me accountable. And when I mess up, I want you to say, don't disrespect me.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Don't disrespect me, because there's a certain way that we do things. I'm counting on them to say, pull me to the side. Hey, Montrell, there was a messed up decision you made. Fix it. So I mean, I think I'm the best. I'm not gonna say I think. I know I'm the best person for the job, for this new seat, into leading, my District 11 and my community to a brighter future. Because like I said, I want to see us all thrive together, because I know we can, because there's enough resources, there's enough money out there that we all can eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, April 13th through
the 28th.
April 28th. Early voting. Y'all, it's too late to go register to vote now, because that was
they can register to vote for the general.
Yeah, the general election, but you can't, all the rest of that stuff you can't do.
Need them to come out and vote twice.
Yeah. If you want to reach him or contact him, he got a website, MontrellBesley.com.
MontrellBesley.com.
There you go. And he's running for county commissioner, District 11 seat.
Y'all see the signs?
Y'all see the signs in the back. Y'all reach out to this man. Y'all vote for this man. He's genuine.
Yes.
He's all in.
Yes, all in.
So
all in like poker.
Exactly. Y'all be ready for that.
That's my game right
Go ahead and put him in there.
I don't know nothing about poker.
Exactly. Me either.
I know if I get that full house, I win. or that four of a kind?
4 of a kind, yeah.
4 of a kind, yeah. Y'all go and vote, man. First off, just go and vote. I don't care who you vote for.
Need you to vote twice.
I just need you to vote.
Yeah.
Period.
Need you to vote
Whoever
once in
you
the primary.
are that's living in our Hamilton County area, you need to go out and vote.
Yeah.
Start next week. Get in and get out and get it over with. Or you can wait till May 3rd and be waiting in line because
He said
a
you
lot
need to vote for on both.
Yeah.
Need you to vote in a primary. Definitely need you to vote in the primary because we don't know which way the primary is going to go. We didn't touch on that. But yeah, I got 2 people running in my primary.
Right.
Yeah, so I definitely need you to go vote in the primary because you do have people that's just counting, on their name being what their name is to get in, and they're not doing the work to earn your vote. I'm doing the work to earn your vote. So please go vote in the primary. And then I definitely need your help to come back and vote again in August, on August the 3rd. August the 4th, on August the 4th to come back and vote again in the general
election.
We're definitely going to be up against a lot on August the 4th. So please get out and vote and pay attention to your District 5 race. I can't leave this podcast without telling you to pay attention to your District 5 race because you don't want to repeat history.
What's going on in District 5?
District 5.
Let's go ahead and clear it up now.
District 5 have some good candidates in it. That we could end up repeating history. Like I said, sometimes it's time for us to step out of the way, and I'm glad I got people around me that's going to tell me it's time to step out of the way. But we got 2 very young and very good candidates that will take District 5 to the next level.
Okay,
and I want people to do their due diligence and looking them up and paying attention. You definitely should bring both of those people on the podcast as well.
Can we reach out to them and get them on here?
I give y'all their names
Sweet.
and everything when we leave.
Sweet.
But definitely pay attention to that and definitely go vote for Brian Bush.
Definitely.
Vote for my guy Brian Bush.
There you go.
We go make a change in that city court.
There you go.
Yeah.
With all that being said, that's the guy.
I told you I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's the guy. Transparent to the point that you see all the way through him.
Yeah. Do your due diligence.
Do your due diligence. Not only in his district. We just got through talking about District 5. You might want to look into that too if you're in that area.
Yeah, definitely.
All that being said, man, we appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, I appreciate you
and representing your district and your home of Alton Park.
Alton Park.
And a byproduct of a Brainerd alum. You know how to throw that in there.
Well, you gonna make my Alton Park folks mad at me.
They be all right. They be all right because you had to go get some education. So there wasn't no high school over there. I don't think, was it? No, it wasn't. Howard.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Oh, don't even do that.
Talking about Howard. Anyway, we appreciate you coming out, man, and much luck to you. Hopefully you get in. New seat, new district, and we just make this thing work, man. We that's what it's all about.
Time to do the work.
It's time to do the work. It's time to be better, be great, and we're gonna end on this good note. This man's gonna get elected.
Yes.
With all that being said, y'all be good. Peace. We'll holler at you.
Thank you.